Now you're tired of getting steep in the downswing, you're getting that dead straight down shaft and you want to get shallow in there. Well, I'm going to show you how to do that with a ball just like this. Really simple, easy little drill to do, and you'll be getting shallow real easy and you'll be hitting the ball just like the pros. I'm Jonathan Chown with JChownGolf. Let's show you how to use this to get yourself shallow in a downswing. So one of the major reasons people get steep in a downswing, and it's all to do with that back elbow. So you can see if my back elbow, my right one, my trail one here, starts to point behind me, so you could almost think of as both elbows start to get further away from each other. If my back elbow goes back here, I've got a bigger distance between two elbows. That shaft immediately steepens, doesn't it? Immediately gets steep. So if I was to do the opposite move and I was to get the right elbow in front, you could see that the shaft starts to shallow. So you could almost think of the gap between my elbows is getting smaller, isn't it? It's getting smaller. So that's where this drill comes in. So with a nice ball, it doesn't have to be a ball as silly as this, but all we need to do with this ball is put it in between our arms, just underneath our elbows there. So it's gonna give us a feedback and a real obvious feedback of how the quality of our elbow movement has been in the golf swing. So you're gonna see here, if I then start to separate my elbow, start doing this in the downswing, this ball is not gonna stay in between my arms. And you're gonna see straight away, it gets steep. So on the other side of the coin there, guys, we can see, right, if we separate, it gets steep. What happens if it stays in our arms? Yes, the shaft starts to move a little bit shallower, but we can extreme that even more. Now, we were talking about elbows distance away from each other. So what we do with this ball, we could exaggerate that feel even more by trying to squeeze it in between our arms. I am squeezing that ball with my right elbow into my left, and that is going to give me an even bigger shallowing feel, because if you're someone who goes oop, back here with that back elbow, you're going to need a bigger feel to be able to get, you know, that shallowing feeling. If you just try and feel like this ball stays in between your arms coming down, you'll most likely probably just drop it anyway. But to really feel like you're getting that feel, it's staying in between there, squeeze that ball in between your arms. So that's your feeling to start off the downswing. Squeeze that ball. You can see how much it shallowed my shaft. So if we hit a few shots there trying to squeeze that ball in between our two elbows, we're going to get a nice shallowing kind of downswing. So I really try to over exaggerate, really try to squeeze that feel there. But this is actually really good for you guys that swing out of sequence as well. Because you can imagine if I'm prioritizing the feel of squeezing to start my downswing, I'm not going to be prioritizing the feel of over rotating that upper body. So it's going to help a lot of your slicers out there as well. So we've got to get that squeezing feeling down there. So what I'd recommend to do is do a bunch of reps with it, get it squeezing in there, and then you're going to be hitting a lot better golf shots. So the great thing about that drill, really getting all that squeeze in there, it gives you such a distinct feeling. Now, whenever we've got something in the golf swing, we've got to have feedback to be able to do it, and quite obvious feedback. So what I would do after I've hit a bunch of balls with that is still do some practice swings, feeling the same feel, and you can see how crazy it's getting my shaft to shallow. So it's really getting that elbow out in front of you. It's such a good practice drill to do. So I could really exaggerate, hit some balls doing the same thing, and I hit really good golf shots because of it. Every one of these is just struck really, really well, because when we shallow, then we'll rotate that body through nicely. The path's controlled, club face is controlled. We just generally have a nice move through there, through that rotation being free. If we do the opposite, back over here, well, we can't rotate freely from there. We've got to then lose our posture, stand up. We could continue to go and hit, you know, right down to the core of the earth in there. We don't want to be going too steep. We want to be squeezing the elbows together and get it in there, like the top tour pros do. They all do this move to some degree. There'll probably be some outliers that don't, but vast majority do. So here we go, one more shot, really squeezing this ball, imaginary ball now, in between my elbows, get them close together. And just like that, that's how we get that shaft a little bit shallower in a downswing. So nice quick video there, guys, about a good drill you can go do. If you like that video, of course, click that like button. Subscribe if you want more videos just like this, you want to see more, and obviously hit that bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video. So if you struggle with getting steep in the downswing, absolute brilliant drill to do. There's loads of training aids out there that are just like this that you can use. Don't have to use a pink spiky ball. So if you've got something like that mid-sized ball, you'll be perfect to get in your shaft shallower.